Hello everyone, welcome back to Talking Reds, where we bring the latest Liverpool news and transfer news and much, much more. In this episode, we are going to be looking at 3 players that Liverpool should sign this summer. That is in our opinion. Not in your opinion. You can get a different 3 players in the comments. Naj has got his 3 players, Reese has got his 3 players, and I've got my 3 players. We don't know who we've all picked. We might pick the same 3. That would be a pointless episode, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think we might have a couple. I think we'll have a couple of similar ones. But I'm guessing Reece and Naj might have a couple of different ones as well. But if you've got anyone different, if you've got 3 players to sign that Liverpool should sign and must sign this summer, let us know in the comments your 3. But we're going to do it one by one. Naj, give me 1 player that you want to sign.
I think probably everyone's got this one, haven't they? Including Arsenal fans. Alexander Isak.
Reece, have you got that as well?
Either Isak or Pedro from Brighton.
All right, so mine's Isak as well. Yeah, Naj, that's definitely one the same. I think Reece, I'm going to push you on Pedro on Isak.
Isak.
Right, Naj, why Isak? I'll say Isak.
I don't think I need to say anything.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Nunez is going, and I think with I said in the video the other day, I think he fits. I think he fits any team, to be honest, and I think he fits Liverpool like a glove as well. Like he's not the best presser in the world, Isak. I will say that presses, but it's everything else you get with it. He's attacking, he's positioning, he bullies defenders. Like he made Gabriel and Saliba in that cup game look like 8-year-old kids. Like he just bullied them. They didn't know what to do, and they're meant to be 2 of the best centre backs in the world, apparently. Or partnership, shall I say? But I think, yeah, I mean, over the last 2 seasons in the Premier League, just alone, like you can just see how good he is. Like I think he's the most complete forward in the league. He does everything. Can drop. Obviously, he has quite a habit of dropping onto the left and then coming inside as well. I think I remember a goal. Might have been last season, maybe season before, and he came. He dribbled it down the line, went round everyone, and then just put it across.
Yeah, last season. Yeah.
I often think, imagine Nunez doing that. I mean, I could see Firmino doing it back when we had Firmino, or I could see Mane doing it. Mane did this centre forward role, but I couldn't think, could Nunez do that? And I could think, no, he'd probably dribble it out and then end up at the sand and outside Anfield. But yeah, it's just, that's it. There's nothing more to say. I think he's just that good.
Reece, I know it's top of the league, right? I know it's top of the league, and a lot of people out there, there's not room for improvement when you're top of the league, but there is really. Do you think Isak takes us to another level?
I do think so. I just think because of how clinical he is. I know obviously there's the injuries, and if you maybe look at his injury record with Jota's, I think Jota's is worse, but it's not as far between as you would think. But I just think having that natural killer in terms of how much chances we create, like daily or like game to game, if you go and check the stats and whatnot, a lot of games kind of would be out of sight, where there's some games that have been made harder than they needed to be, or even some games where we may have even dropped points because we didn't take all our chances. And with him, I know, like I said again, the injury, so people say he might not be available the whole season, but you don't need him to be available the whole season. If you've got a squad, say if you've got someone else, so say, obviously in an ideal world, I don't think it would be him and Jota because of the injuries, but say you had him and then you had Pedro to come in, or you had Raul Jimenez from Fulham or someone like that as a backup, so who's not necessarily so injury prone, it would kind of work out because you got someone like for like, you got someone coming in who is gonna chip in with the goals. Whereas the problem we've got right now is, like I said, you've got Jota who does score but quite injury prone, and then you've got Nunez who's very up and down. It depends. You're not really sure what you're going to get from him. Depends on his mood. Depends on the weather. Depends. But
do you think you have to sign another striker though on top of Isak if we've got Isak?
I think, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of activity. I could see us getting rid of Nunez and Jota. I could see, even though I would like to keep Jota. I think if you had Jota and Isak, that would be a worry for me because of both the injury records.
Mm.
So,
hopefully Jaden Dance comes back as well with a bit of form in him. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that's possibly putting me off Isak. The money don't really bother me 'cause it's not my money anyway. And I think if we're paying fucking 75 million, we should be with Nunez, then we should be complaining whatever Isak's been valued at because he's a different planet. But I think we'll get the money back for the points that he wins us, if it makes sense. I think it's like the Van Dijk signing. People complain about the money put on the Van Dijk signing. When I remember going back to when I signed, I said he's the difference. He's going to be the difference between winning the league and not winning the league, and it was. We've certainly got that money back for what he did for us. And I think Isak's that kind of signing. And just imagine Isak, Gakpo, Salah as a front three if Salah's still here. That's saying that. But those three as a front three, just for me, and we talked about the Mane, Firmino, Salah thing, and I always said, look, which kind of striker that's going to take us that sort of level of Mane, Salah, Firmino as a three. I'm not saying is completely different to Firmino, but as a three, the level that they took us to, I think Isak's that kind of player that can take that front three to that level for me. Yeah, Isak, the most complete forward in the Premier League. Reece, who's your second pick for players to sign this summer?
it would be midfield, which is Belieber from Brighton.
That's two, same as me now.
Yeah. Well, like I said, for me, it's either him or Angelo Stiller. I think Angelo Stiller more kind of screams FSG because in terms of the price, you're not going to necessarily pay over the odds for him. It's more kind of shrewd business, and not everyone will know who he is as well. So there might be some people who think, who's that? Whereas when you see him come in and do good, then you'll see, oh yeah, that's a typical FSG or Edwards or Hughes kind of signing where it's not necessarily a high profile, but a very good player. I would lean more towards Believer just because he's Prem proven, and I just think we need someone physical. I want someone who's going to play in that position, a bit like a Fabinho, whose job is kind of like an Endo, where their job is just to destroy. It's just to go through players.
He's good on the ball as well, though. He's good on the ball as well.
Oh,
Very good on the ball.
But that's what I'm saying. He can do that as well. I want. Whereas even though Gravenberch is playing there and he's doing exceptional, you can tell that technically he's kind of belongs a bit further up the pitch. Whereas like I said, Believer, you could just have him there, and it's like just don't let anything get through, and kind of will enjoy that sort of work.
Naz, have you got anything on different? Because that is one of my picks as well. But I think
so my last signing is a left back. You probably know.
All right, so leave that on to the end. So who's your second? Who's your other one?
Between it, and I've gone a bit of an unconventional route here. I do think Gravenberch could still play in the defensive role in that double pivot that we tend to play at the minute with McAllister and him. But I just sort of thought along a different sort of route. So I Belieber was someone I've got written down, but I couldn't pick between the two of them, so I'm just going to say both of them. And one was João Neves and Zaire Emery. I know it'd be so hard to get them away from PSG, but I just think the age of them two and how technically gifted they are and how good they were against us. I mean, Zaire Emery didn't even play the entire game, but especially both, the ceiling on them two is just ridiculous. Like, I think Zaire Emery's 17 and then like Neves is 20. So, I mean, that's sort of like, I sort of feel like maybe planning for the future. I think that'd be so unobtainable, to be honest. I just two players I really like, and I think, you know, if you did potentially bring them into Liverpool, like obviously be more rotation in that midfield sort of area. And I think with the talent they've got, like they probably suit Slot in the way they play.
Yeah,
because like the ball retention and the control that they both have at such a young age already, that they controlled our midfield the other day at 20 years old. I mean, Neves played nearly the full game, and you know, obviously Zaire Emery 17. I watched him a lot this season, and he just like drops off into like CDM and plays as an 8, and he just looks like a complete footballer at 17, which is crazy to say something like that.
If João Neves wanted at PSG, mate, he would have certainly been my number one because he was one I wanted to sign before PSG signing. I think we're missing an absolute sitter with that one. We missed a trick with João Neves. A perfect person that could play a 6'8". He could play perfectly next to Gravenberch as double pivot.
100%.
Perfectly. But yeah, Emery as well. Certainly, he's got bags of talent. So yeah, I do like those options. And it's just a shame that João Neves is at PSG. I think we'd have to pay out of his ass for that.
Yeah, it'd be like
If we just if we 250 million just for him and Isak alone.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine was Baleba because just knowing that who was available, and again, like Bruce said, was Prem proven. Brighton haven't been as good as they can be this season, but they are up there. They have certainly been very, very good at times. They're knocking Chelsea out of the FA Cup, still got a chance at the FA Cup. I think he and João Pedro are the main part of what they've done this season, especially Baleba. I think without Baleba this season, and they always do this. Brighton always get a fucking midfielder like this. They got McAllister, they got Caicedo. They've replaced him with an incredible midfielder. And who did they have there before Caicedo? They had Basuma. That's Tottenham, yeah. They always do this. They always find fucking midfielders like that and sell them on. They're brilliantly run at Brighton. Brilliantly run.
Question is, don't go sign a player. Go and sign Brighton scouts.
Yeah. That's I'm happy. We don't have to spend 600 million every single summer, whatever. I'm happy to have someone like to find a gem like that and get someone like that, but we're not doing that either. Really, we don't really find gems from South America. And the Brighton scouts are absolutely sensational. The players that they find. Right, third player, boys. Mine is going to be the same probably for yours. It's going to be left back. It is. I think Kirkes is probably the best option of all in terms of left backs. The way we want to push left backs going forward as well as defend, I think it'd suit Arne Slot down to the ground. His energy, his ability to get up and down the pitch, his physical presence, and he's actually got an eye for goal as well. He's actually pretty decent shooting. Reece, is Kirkes your third, or have you got anyone different?
I kind of had like 3 players to be fair, but they're all similar. It's either Kirkes, Lewis Hall. I think is underrated at Newcastle.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good left back. Like Kirkes is the obvious one. Is the obvious.
Yeah.
I think he's quite similar to Robinson in terms of he'll be able to get up and down, quite athletic, strong. But yeah, Lewis Hall I think could be one as well, because that's one where FSG may look at and think you might not have to pay over the odds. Good player. I think, like I said, Chelsea I don't know what they were thinking, kind of letting him go. Another player from their academy, they've kind of just let go, and then you can see he's a good player. And then the other one would have been Hato, because I know obviously he can play centre back and left back, but very good player for his age, isn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is he the captain already at Ajax or no?
No, Henderson was captain, isn't he?
No, at Ajax.
Yeah, I think it's Henderson in that.
All right, okay, or vice captain. I'm sure some sort of he has some sort of
Yeah.
Maybe vice or maybe something for the age he's playing at for Netherlands or something. But I think he's very good player, very athletic. Age is on his side. I think a lot of teams are going to kind of be in for him as well. He looks like a very mature player, kind of beyond his years. So
the Dutch connection. Obviously, we've got plenty of Dutch players. Arne Slot.
Yeah. I think he could. Obviously, you won't ever be able to replace someone like Van Dijk, as in like for like, but potentially he has the potential in terms of if you look at how he plays and his attributes and whatnot, that if you get him in from young, that might be someone there, and he could kind of be mentored from Van Dijk as well.
Naz, with your head nodding like a Churchill dog, I presume you were thinking. I'm thinking you was thinking Kirkes as well.
I literally had Kirkes, Hato, and the other one I went for was just because it wouldn't be who I'd sign, but I just think because of the connection with Slot.
Oh, I was thinking about someone else. I didn't know when you were saying that.
Hanko.
Oh yeah, right.
Well, he can play left back, left centre back, quite similar to Hato, and I think because of I think he's about 26. I think he wouldn't be too expensive. I think what Reece was saying with Hato there, like Kirkes is the obvious choice, and Kirkes would obviously proven, fit like a glove. 22, 23, isn't he? Kirkes, very young, obviously. Connection there with his fellow countryman with Soboslai. But Hato, for me, I think it's almost like one of them players, Hato, right? And I mean, he's 18, and I think, he already looks that good at that age already. So even if, like, Liverpool, I know he'll be a lot cheaper than Kerkez. You're probably looking at 40 mil plus for Kerkez, I think. I think you'd get Hato for under that. And I think almost with it's a risk because he is playing in Eredivisie, but it's almost like if it pays off, you've got like a left back and a left centre back, or centre back / centre back for 30 odd million, let's say, cost that. I presume it would probably be about that expensive, maybe even more. I don't know, but I just think because the connection with the Dutch players, like you're saying before, I just think that it could be just an absolute steal. Like I really think it could be, but not because I don't think people are like. I don't think Arsenal would take a risk on it. I don't think. Oh, Chelsea would they sign anyone? But I don't think City would, to be honest. And I don't think it is a risk. I think it's almost just like, why not sign him? I think you've got, and if he works out like Reece was saying, if the potential's that good, yeah, he probably won't be the same as Van Dijk or be as good as Van Dijk. But at 18 years of age, that's your centre back for the next 12 years, isn't it? Plus, and then. Yeah, I just think it's a great. I think it's a great potential signing. I think that's probably something I would look at.
Do you think Hato and Kirk could be a double? A double swoop.
I mean, if it was for 50, like say 60 million for the pair or something like that,
potentially I think it could be because Hato could play both positions.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
They may look at him regardless, whereas we do need a centre back. We do need a left back. So if you're able to get both, then that's kind of proof planning. That's kind of what we want them to do, not be reactionary, kind of doing what you're supposed to be doing, addressing the areas. And then that way you've got someone who can play, two guys who can play left back, but you've also got someone who can play centre back as well.
What's very interesting as well is the clubs that we've been linked to. Like you said, Lewis Hall's a good option. I think it's a brilliant option. But if we're going for Isak as well at Newcastle, I can't see Newcastle ever selling two. It would be either Lewis Hall or Isak. And the same with Bournemouth. We're linked with Hilson at centre back and Kerkez. Again, I don't see Bournemouth selling both. It's just choosing which one's the right way to go. For me, Kerkez and Isak are the best two for me.
Yeah.
But knowing the ownership that we've got, do I think we're going to pay that sort of money? Are you talking what? 40 million, 45 million for Kerkez, 110, 120 could be for Isak. That's 165 down two players. That's forgetting Baleba over. He could be about 60 million himself, so 50, 60 million Baleba. That's three positions, and that's without looking at if we lose Van Dijk, Salah, right wing, centre back, and that's without looking at left wing as well. If we're going to lose Diaz, for example. But it's funny that we've all gone for the same positions, though. They're the three that we certainly need to look at. The left back, striker, Nunez is clearly off, and a midfielder. We need to get a midfielder. Don't ever say, I don't ever hear anyone say we've got the perfect midfield, we don't need a midfielder. We still need a midfielder.
Yeah.
Gravenberch himself has said he's not a 6. He said in the interview, look, I'm still an 8. He clearly wants to play 8. I think he will be even better at 8. As mad as it sounds, he's even better at 8. He was unreal at Ajax. It's took a lot of his forward game off. To cover 6, he's been done amazingly, but put a defensive-minded player next to Gravenberch and watch him play.
For me as well, yeah, it's that if you had someone already, just say you had someone, one of those players we're talking about, Gravenberch doesn't need to play yesterday.
No,
exactly.
Even though it's nice to have him to play with someone, but he can get a break. He might not even need to be in the squad. He can get that rest.
That's it.
That's why I think it's that important. But I also think the three positions we said and a centre back as well. I think those 4 positions are important because I do think we need a centre back. If you take away Van Dijk and Konate, the level does drop. Even though Konte's got a lot of potential, he's not at that level yet. And then obviously Gomez, the problem with Gomez is he's just too injury prone. He can't really play. So those 4 positions are key this summer.
And what would change everything, everyone's mindset right now, would be Trent, Van Dijk and Salah all going. that leaves us with a predicament we do not want at all. Because I mean, they're the three that we're saying ourselves like they're the priorities. But if Salah and Van Dijk go, right wing and centre back almost become even more so of a priority than the others because we haven't got anyone at that level in those positions. Like, I don't even want to think about them two going, if I'm honest. But because if they do go, that just gives us a summer that we don't want at all. Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad we all agreed on the same positions, different sort of players. But yeah, if you agree with our options, our positions, then let me know in the comments if you don't agree that these are the three main positions. If you think of someone different as well, let me know in the comments on that as well. Thank you for watching. Make sure you do, like I say, all the time. Please make sure you like the video. It helps us out massively to grow the channel. Just liking the video, click like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you everyone that has subscribed. 251 subscribers now. Our next aim is for 500 subscribers. Would be absolutely amazing. Thank you everyone that has subscribed so far. Try to get in contact out every single day, so make sure you get your notification bells on as well. Thank you, Naj. Thank you, Reese. Thank you everyone. Have a great night, guys, and have a great week.